Can I extend my work permit, which is based on a low wage LMIA, after the new policy has been announced? In this video, we are going to answer the work permit extension question. Before we get started, my name is Madhur Parashar. My contact information is here and in the description. If you need any paid immigration services or consultations, feel free to contact me. Okay, so recently Canadian government announced a rule change about low wage LMIAs. Employers who are located in an area where the unemployment rate is above 6% cannot file low wage LMIAs below the provincial median wage. Employers also who have Employers also have a cap of 10% of their employees can be on low wage LMIAs. And finally, the work permit duration for a low wage LMIA is 1 year instead of 2 years. So those are the announcements. Now let's talk about how this impacts people's work permit extensions. So suppose you are on a low wage work permit currently and it is going to expire. So what are your extension options? So first of all, for your work permit to be extended, your employer needs to obtain a new LMIA. Now, can the employer obtain a new LMIA after the new rules have been announced? So the first thing to consider is the industry in which your employer is. So some employers in certain industries have been exempted from this rule. For example, agriculture, food processing, construction, and healthcare. If your employer is in one of these industries, then there is nothing to worry about. The employer can still apply for a low wage LMIA and obtain a new LMIA approval. And using that approval, you can extend your work permit for a period of 1 year because the extensions are now for 1 year only. You will not get a 2 year extension. The second thing to check is the location of your employer. So is your employer located in an area which has unemployment rate above 6%? So there's a government department called Statistics Canada, which publishes the unemployment rate of each region. So right now we don't have official data from IRCC, but until we get that official data, we can use the Statistics Canada data to make some predictions. So according to Statistics Canada, there are some areas where unemployment rate is above 6%. That unfortunately, that includes Toronto, Ottawa, Calgary, Edmonton, Regina, and Hamilton, Kitchener, and so on. There are several places. If your employer is not in one of the exempted industries and they are located in one of these high unemployment areas, then unfortunately, your employer cannot apply for a low wage LMIA. They can apply for a high wage LMIA by increasing your salary all the way up to the provincial median wage or above. So your employer will have to increase your salary, match the provincial median wage, convert it into a high wage LMIA, and then they can apply for it. If they don't do that, then unfortunately they cannot get a new LMIA, and then your work permit cannot be extended. So you will lose your worker status in that case. The next condition to check is whether your employer has a maximum of 10% of its workforce on low wage LMIA work permits or not. If they have more than 10%, then they cannot apply for a low wage LMIA. For example, if it's a restaurant of 10 people or with 10 employees, then maximum one person can be on a low wage LMIA work permit. If you already have 3 or 4, then the employer will not be able to apply for a new LMIA to extend your work permit. In that case, again, without that LMIA, you cannot extend your work permit. If it's an employer with 100 employees in a warehouse, maximum 10 can be. If they already have 20 or 25, then again, same scenario applies. So in all of these cases, an employer cannot apply for a new LMIA to extend your worker status. If none of these situations apply, then yes, you can apply for you can obtain a new LMIA and you can extend your work permit. Now, when you apply for extension of work permit, the maximum duration of work permit will be 1 year. It used to be 2 years, they've reduced it to 1 year, which means that after another 1 year, if you want to again extend your work permit, then the employer has to again obtain a new LMIA, which means they have to go through the period of advertising for the job and applying and waiting for the approval to come through. Now that takes easily 3 to 4 months, which means if they obtain a new LMIA today, then again after 7 or 8 months, they have to again start the whole process again. So a lot of these employers may not be willing to do these things. So the extension of work permits based on low wage LMIAs becomes very, very difficult in this case, unfortunately. So in this case, what can you do? There are three options. Option number one, look for LMIAs and jobs at employers who are in the exempted industries, namely agriculture, food processing, construction, and healthcare. Option number two, move to another area of the country where the unemployment rate is below 6% because there these restrictions will not apply. Number three, some employers have pre-approved LMIAs. So they got their LMIA approved a long time ago. So they keep that in their pocket. So if an already approved LMIA will not have these issues. So those are the three options. If you already have a work permit of 2 years and you have and there is plenty of time remaining or you recently obtained it, then this policy is not going to affect your existing work permit. As the government announces more details, we'll continue to bring those details to this channel, so stay subscribed. Once again, my name is Madhur Parashar. I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant. My contact information is here. Reach out for paid immigration services and consultations.